Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering, they're cheering, and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell!
Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hut. The amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut. And if you want to know my reaction, Stephen Bunting, to today's Mets loss, it's not a debacle because you go, first of all, you go up against a pitcher like Alcantara, you're going to be in big trouble to begin with. So you have to sort of do your work after he's out of that game. But I would point out that the Mets need to really do something about this offense. I think we all sort of come to that conclusion that this offense is not good at all. So they have one big bat that's dangerous, and the rest of them are kind of they sort of come and go. They're in and out. So that's really my sort of reaction. Let me go through the box score a little bit. We're gonna go through the starting lineups for the All-Star game, and then we'll find out who gets selected for the Mets, and really just everybody for both leagues. But please like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Yeah, I mean, they beat them last time. But that doesn't really matter for right now. That doesn't matter. I mean, it's tough beating that guy. That guy's got great stuff. And the funny thing I was thinking about that, he's not going to be there much longer. That the GM down there, she's going to move him pretty quickly, probably this off season, because they're not going to hold on to him. He's going to be very expensive to hold on to. There's a reason why Jeter left. He doesn't want to deal with the insanity that's going on down there. I mean, to run a team like that is ridiculous. But the Mets had a tough game. Like I said, they have not been hitting the way they should. really since June, because their schedule turned very difficult in June, because they went up against all the big boys and all the sort of more difficult teams to deal with, all the winning teams. I mean, they had that really big road trip out in California. They did not do well against the Astros, but they are 20 games over 500. They're still in first. The Braves game is still going on. The Braves are really struggling to beat the beat the Nationals today. Um, but right now, this team offensively, that I've said this for the last 2 years, the Mets always get good pitching. The pitching always puts them in a position to win a game. It's been this offense really for the last 15 years, for the last 10, 15 years, that has made it very difficult for the Mets to win on a regular basis. Um, and really, the past 2 years, it's been tough, to watch this team offensively. Now we know what the problem is. They've done a good job putting the ball in play. They've done a good job. They've not been like this black hole like they were last year. They were in a black hole last year, offensively. I was complaining about that for the whole year. This lineup has 3 holes in it. Last year's the holes everywhere. They weren't getting anything out of Lindor. I'm going to say this about Lindor. Hey, Francisco, swing and a strike. Scott threw him he threw him 5 pitches. None of them were strikes. None of them. He gets, first of all, he gets ahead in the count on Kanya. Kanya draws a walk. He's able to draw a walk in the at bat. He throws 2 balls out of the strike zone to Lindor, and Lindor swings at the next pitch. Let him throw you a strike. Let him have to throw you a strike. You're in the driver's seat. You have Alonso behind you. Why are you swinging? And like I said, all 3 pitches to Lindor were balls. Every single one of them. Let me get to the chat. Hello, Nelson Cruz. Hello, Roberto Deniz Jr. From Roberto, this team doesn't have any relievers that can do the job, and keep waiting until the end of July to get the help you need, and you'll be finishing. This team is going to win 100 games. I mean, last year we saw with the Dodgers and the Giants, they both won over 100 games. So relax. It's not as bad as you think. But let me go through the box score a little bit because I'm just going to skip over the Marlins. The Marlins aren't going anywhere, to be honest with you. They're probably going to start moving some pieces here. I mean, Garrett Cooper's probably going to go. That's probably a piece that's going to go. Maybe Scotch might get traded. But let's look at this offense a little bit. All right. Now, first of all, they don't have Marte. He's out with the groin injury. He says it's inflammation. Hello, Greg Zeman. How are you? So, the Mets sort of are dealing with some injuries, but all teams are dealing with injuries. See, Marte, the guy, I just love watching him play, but I get the idea that he's the kind of guy he's going to miss time. Everything has to sort of work. He's the kind of guy that'll miss 30 games in a season because he missed 40 games last year. But when he's on that field and he's healthy, boy, he's a great talent. Let's go do this lineup. Nimmo, 0 for 5. He almost hit. Boy, he got under that pitch in the 10th inning, didn't he? Boy, I didn't think it was going out, but then I saw the outfielder, the right fielder, go back on that ball, and I thought at first that it was going to go out, but Kanye went 1 for 3, 2 walks. He had a big walk in the 10th inning, but didn't do much with it. Lindor 1 for 5, 2 strikeouts, and he left 2 men on base in the 10th inning. That's not going to cut it. Sent 239, 316 on base, 421 slugging percentage. Where has he been? Boy, I mean, the money they spent. The money they spent for him, what a bust. He's played much better this year. He's a very good defensive player. His arm is shaky, I would point out. His arm is shaky. But boy, that offense, and they have him batting third every game. I guess you can't put the $340 million guy batting sixth. I guess Pete Alonso went 1 for 4. Pete's kind of like he's slumping. You know, he got off the home run schneid last night, but he's slumping. You know, they're pitching around him. He's not getting anything good to hit. He's gonna come around. That's not a big deal. Jeff McNeil went 0 for 4. I thought he would get and he got 2 strikeouts. I was hoping thinking that he was probably gonna get a big hit because his wife's gonna have a baby. He's gonna be gone from the Atlanta series. So I figured he would have like a big game today. He had nothing. He had nothing going on. He didn't have good at bats at all. Nothing. Dom Smith. Oh, my favorite Met. 0 for 3. 1 strikeout. What a shock. Dom Smith. 0 for 3. Isn't that nice? He's doing so well. Let's see. 210 batting average, 289 slugging percentage. And get this, a 311 slugging percentage. That's pathetic. You're not going to win with this offense. You can't win with a DH that has a 311 slugging percentage. Okay. Then Bucky brings in Davis. The guy's got a 364 slugging percentage. You can't win with the DH like this. This is crazy. So the Mets have right now, they have 3 like automatic outs in the lineup. Third baseman, who I think a lot of it has to do with this contract. Because he's really feeling he's shown nothing other than a few games, the game in San Diego and last week against Texas. He has shown you nothing. He went 1 for 4 in the game. Total base on 1 total base. He's done nothing. So, you have them, you have him, you have the catching situation. McCann went back on the IL today with an oblique, I guess, tweak or strain. I had an oblique strain. It is freaking painful. I had that a few years ago. I had to go on medication. It is extremely painful. Extremely painful. And that is a very difficult injury to come back from. Extremely painful. So he's going to be out at least a month. I mean, it's weird to see a catcher get that kind of an injury. He's going to be out like probably the middle of August, I would think. They called up Patrick Mazeika. I don't believe they're going to call up Alvarez. That's been that was the word today. They weren't going to do that. They say he's not ready yet. I know he's gotten off to a good start in AAA, but he's not. They say he's not ready. Luis Guillorme, 3 for 4 in the game. His stats aren't much better than the DH spot, except his batting average is 303 batting average, 374 on base percentage, 360 slugging percentage. That ain't cutting it. So he's a guy he's not making outs, but you're getting no pop out of him. The guy's a great defensive player, but he's giving you nothing. Nothing offensively. Nothing. Let me get to the chat. Greg Zeman, looks like we need 4 players, DH, catcher, and 2 relievers. Well, we're going to get into the catching situation because Wilson Contreras was named the catcher of the All-Star team. He's a starting catcher. The Mets have to give up a lot to get him. I don't know what they're going to do. This really hurts them in terms of what they want to do behind the plate because they could have lived with McCann and Nito behind the plate, but I don't know what they're going to do with Mazeika. That's the one issue here. Do they want to live with Mazeika down the next 6 weeks? I don't know. That's the one thing. Stephen Bunty, 10-year contract will prove a mistake for the Mets. It seems to be a problem for all these teams. Why are you giving these players 10-year contracts? Even for the younger players, that we don't have steroids in the game, and amphetamines aren't in the game. Why are you giving these guys 10-year contracts? I thought the biggest mistake they made wasn't that they traded for Lindor, The problem with them making that deal for Lindor was the fact that they didn't let him play here first. They didn't let him get his feet wet before they decided to give him a long-term deal. That was the problem with that deal. From Greg Zeman, Davis and Smith need to play every day on some other team. Now, here's the thing about the two of them. Okay, Dom is not a major league player. People aren't going to like me saying that. He's not a major league player. He's barely above a minor leaguer. Okay, the guy hasn't hit a home run in a year in the major leagues. Not one time has he hit a home run in 365 days. He's not hit a home run in a year. Think about that. And he's been your left-handed hitting DH this year. He's not, and he's playing first. He's not hit a home run. The guy, and he's constantly striking out. I mean, it's terrible. It's pathetic. You can't win like that. You just can't win like that. It's simple as that. Right now, Dom Smith is a minus 0.1 minus player. Wins above replacement off of Baseball Reference. He's not a winning player. He's not affecting you in a positive way. According to that statistic, he is affecting you in a negative way. Why is he on this team? Why? Last year, he had a lousy year. Okay. Let me go through his numbers on the side here. 244 batting average, 304 on base percentage, 363 slugging. And his excuse that they gave us this season coming in was that Dom was hurt. Well, what's Dom's problem now? Dom was dealing with some kind of shoulder issue last year. If he was hurt, why was he playing? What is his issue now? Okay. Look, I want these players to do well. I really do. But if I'm seeing things that I think everyone else is seeing, they don't want to accept it, then I'm going to have to bring it up. Dom Smith is not an everyday player. He's not a major league player. He's not good. He's just not there. Mets talk with Hayden. How you doing, Hayden? Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Hi, how are you? I've seen you in a while. Hey, Hud, it's been a while. How have you been? I have been great. I've been really good. Things have been really good. But over Dom's career, just in terms of wins above replacement, he's affected 0.5 games. He's affected half a game positively. Half a game. He's hurting you on the field. He's hurting you on the field. He's got 11. Let me tell you something. He's got 25 hits coming into today's game. He's got 10 doubles, 1 triple. 37 total bases. That is pathetic. 319 slugging percentage. It's pathetic. You can't win. How are you going to win that way with a guy like that in your lineup? Same thing with Davis. Let's look at Davis real quick. His numbers aren't much better. Now, last year, he was dealing with an injury. And here's another guy, okay? He's another guy. He's affecting you in a negative way. According to wins above replacement, he's 0.1. 0.1 coming into today. 0.1 negative in the negative. Wins above replacement. He's got 3 home runs, 19 runs better than. Slugging percentage, 366. You can't win with that. That's impossible to win with a lineup like this, with your DHs hitting like this. You can't win like that. I'm sorry. And the men announcers, they know it. Everybody knows it. They keep sugarcoating it. Keep sugarcoating it. Then there's been talk that they were going to bring in Nelson Cruz. I done a video on it the other day. But I'm starting to think they should just stay the hell away from him. because his numbers aren't much better. The only difference is he has more RBIs and a few more home runs, but not by much. His slugging percentage is under 400, so he's not what he was. He's over the hill. But you're not going to have to give up any big prospects. You're not going to have to give up Mauricio Vientos. You know, from Roberto, Hud, as long as Sandy Olson gets involved in the GM business and don't allow it to make a trade, they'll be in trouble. Look, Roberto, he doesn't get involved in that stuff anymore. You know, they're not. That one has nothing to do with the other. He doesn't get involved. The Braves going to win the game. Oh, so the Mets have a 1.5 game lead on the Braves now. Oh, no surprise there. The Nationals are terrible. But, yeah, one has nothing to do with the other. No teams are making any trades. Do you want to give up Mauricio for Contreras for 2 months? Contreras is not going to be here long term because they have Alvarez. Alvarez is knocking on the door. I have mentioned that the minor leagues now are going into September now. So Alvarez is going to be playing in September, as all the other minor leaguers are going to be. So he's not. He's going to play. So whether he plays here or he plays in AAA, there's a possibility he might be here. The only problem with Alvarez being here is he's not on the 40-man roster. So they'd have to make space for him. But Alderson has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on with the ball club. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So just get that, just erase that out of your head, because that one has absolutely nothing to do with one and the other. It really doesn't. But now, please like this video, of course, and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. We'll be getting the All-Star selections for the entire team. That we're coming in now. All right, Shane McClanahan for the Rays. So he's getting selected. Guess let's start with the American League. From the New York Yankees, Nestor Cortez. Well, that's no surprise there. Interesting. That's no surprise. He's had a good year. From the Blue Jays, Alek Manoah. First career All-Star selection. Okay. We'll see how many the Mets get, because they've had a really good year. I would think that Framber Valdez, the Astros, he's going in. Yeah, I would think Edwin Diaz is probably going to get into the All-Star game. Martin Perez of the Rangers, that might be the only selection for them. From the A's, Paul Blackburn, starter for the A's. I wonder if he'll get traded. I tell you, boy, the A's, boy, they better move the hell out of Oakland. I mean, really. Hello, Morph, man. What are you crying about? It's not October 6th. It's not the end of October. Relax. Other All-Star pitchers, Justin Verlander, Jared Cole, Shohei Ohtani. Jared Cole. I better make sure that Billy Crystal's nowhere near him. That's for sure. Now, I would mention next week, we'll have a big show next week. We're going to have the draft. So the draft is going to be huge next week, and I'm going to be covering it. I've been doing a lot of mock drafts on the Baseball Hut 2 over the last 3 weeks, and next week's show is going to be big. You know, because the Mets have 2 of the first 14 picks, the 11th pick and the 7th and the 14th pick, and they have 5 of the first 90 selections. So it's gonna be a fun show next week. So you want to come by and watch and take a look. We're gonna have a lot of big stuff coming here. We're gonna have a lot of different shows here. I'm gonna be on a lot in the morning over the next couple of weeks. So Clay Holmes of the New York Yankees, he's going. I wonder at what point he's gonna blow a save late in the season or sometime in the postseason. This guy's pitched terribly in his career. It's from the Guardians, Emmanuel Clace. Interesting. The Tigers, Gregory Soto. He's probably going to get moved, I would think. I've heard his name with the Mets. From the Baltimore Orioles, the 7 wins in a row, Baltimore Orioles. They're 1 game under 500. Jorge Lopez. If I were the Mets, don't bring him in. Oh, he's had a terrible career. He's just pitching great right now. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. But, boy, the Orioles, they're playing well, aren't they? Wow. And they're only going to get better. They got so much talent in the minor leagues, and they got the number 1 pick. They're probably going to select Drew Jones. So they're going to have some team in the next year or two. Yeah, it's good to see that they're coming back from the abyss, because they were in the darkness for a long time. And it's great to see that they're doing as well as they are, And it's just a start, I guess, for them. So let me just get to Baseball Reference. I would assume that Andrew Chase, we're going to go through some of these players again. And just talk about all the different guys that are going to be moved and stuff. Let's get to Baseball Reference. We'll get to the main page. Jordan Alvarez named a reserve. Miguel Cabrera named a special selection. He's like the legacy guy. He deserves it. Let me tell you something. He's having the best year offensively. His slugging is under 3. It's under 400 too. On the Boston Red Sox, Xander Bogaerts. He won't be around much longer. He's not going to resign with them. They're going to get rid of him. He's going to opt out. They're going to have a tough time keeping him. I don't know how to say. Jose Ramirez. See, I have to be good because I'm trying to really do a good job of myself. Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. First time selections: Jose Trevino. The Yankees from the Twins, Luis Arraez. From the Cleveland Guardians, second baseman, shortstop, Andres Jimenez. Oh, no shock there. 2 years ago, first of all, I was very surprised the Mets included him in a trade, considering how I thought of him when we saw him in 2020. I was like, boy, he reminds me so much of Edgardo Alfonso on the field. I was like, and then they moved him in the Lindor trade. I was like, they're crazy doing that. They already gave them a million. Why are you giving him 2? It didn't make any sense when the Mets made that deal. I was like, Jimenez is he's going to be some really good player. Now, when I threw out Alfonso as a name, boy, oh boy, and then to see him now doing so well, it really makes me sick. And usually I don't get too uptight about players, but that makes me sick. To give up that kind of talent for Lindor, and you spend all that money on Lindor. That's why the Mets got to be very careful when they make a trade, say for a guy like Contreras, because you don't want to give up, say, Mauricio Vientos. Because Vientos, they compare him to his power to Pete's power. And you got to be very careful. And this is a team that needs offensive help. It'd be interesting to see if he gets called up at some point, if they feel like they need another bat. From the Blue Jays, George Springer. 4th career All-Star. He was a guy I wanted the Mets to get last offseason. He would have been great on the Mets. Talk about a leader. What a great leader he is. I wish the Mets had gotten him. From the Twins, Byron Buxton. While he's not hurt, he's made the All-Star team. Look at that. Look at that. They're showing a clip of the Twins beating the Yankees. From the Kansas City Royals, Andrew Benintendi, who's probably going to get traded. They're talking about him getting traded to the Yankees, like a Joey Gallo for a Benintendi trade. From the Houston Astros, Kyle Tucker, 1st career All-Star selection. Astros are going to be tough, I tell you. I know the Mets lost 4 games against them, but and the Mets are struggling offensively, but boy, they're going to be tough. From the Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. He's some talent too. He was very impressive when the Mets faced them early in the year. Very, very impressive. I wonder who they're going to put in for the American League starter for the pitcher. I would guess Verlander, I guess, because he made the team. And that kid today, Sandy Alcantara, boy, he's got some arm. Like I said, he's going to get traded eventually. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. Now, please like this video in the meanwhile and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. So, just waiting a little bit. We'll get the National League team. We'll see how many Mets, if more than one gets in. I think Diaz will get in. Be surprised if he didn't. Here's the pitching matchups for the Mets Braves series. Max Scherzer versus Max Fried. On Tuesday, David Peterson versus Spencer Strider. Oh, look at that. Oh, they didn't select anything. What the hell's going on here? Chris Bassett versus Charlie Morton. Oh, that's tough 3 games for both sides. So, the Mets are going to have a tough. Ty France. So what's going on with Ty France? I guess Ty France didn't make the team, I guess. I guess Pete made the team. Ty France did not. Let's take a look at Ty France. Francis. Ty France hitting 310. He needs a little bit more. He's not ready yet. Ty France. Yeah, we want the big stars at these games. We want to see first timers. But if you got guys like Goldschmidt and Alonso, Ty France is going to have a tough time making the team. I'm sorry. He's just going to have a tough time making the team. Let's see who else. But yeah, so the Mets need to find some. We're waiting on a commercial here from ESPN. We'll get the National League team, but the Mets obviously need offensive help at least in 3 positions. DH is a disaster. Behind the plate is a disaster. They're getting very inconsistent and no offensive production out of third base. The offensive production they're getting out of Guillorme is just singles. There's no home runs. There's no extra base pop. The Mets are going to have to find a way to bring in some bats in here. Not have to give up a lot. And to do it, it's going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to bring in some very good talent in here to help this offensive situation. This is a bad offense right now. It's not as bad as last year. Last year was an utter disaster. But when you got guys like that Pete, and they get that's why Pete's struggling too, is they're pitching around him, But showing the National League starters again: Contreras, Goldschmidt, Chisholm, Turner, Machado, Peterson, Acuna, and Betts. William Contreras, he made the team at DH. How did he get on it as a DH? Well, it wasn't a Met. I guess it wasn't one of the Mets. 911 OPS. Okay. I'll tell you, the Mets are going to have a tough road with them. From Victor, is Pete going on to the home run derby? Well, we'll find out in a minute because Arenado is the reserve at third. Reserve infielder. If he makes the team, he's probably going to be in the home run derby. But the New York Mets, Pete Alonso's going. Look at that. So Pete's going. He's probably going to be in the home run derby. He said he's only going to be part of it if he gets in there. So he's going. First Met. Very good. From the Cardinals, Albert Pujols. 90-year-old Albert Pujols. Will he pitch in this game? That's the question. It's weird that you see all these pictures, another New York Met. Jeff McNeil made the team. Look at that. Jeff McNeil made the team. Great. That's good. Wasn't sure if Jeff was going to make the team. Let's had a really good year. You guys would get all depressed and everything. You're complaining, but other National League infielders, Travis d'Arnaud, C.J. Cron, Dansby Swanson, Travis d'Arnaud. What a joke. I won't get into him. The guy got traded like 20 times now. Oh, he's a star now. He's on the field. And there's no pressure in Atlanta. What pressure are you talking about? Let's see if Marte made this team. But Jeff McNeil and Pete Alonso going back to the All-Star game. Isn't that good? Together. Look at that. That's pretty good. Jeff is a really great hitter. I mean, but he's not a number 5 hitter. I know Buck's been batting fifth. He's not a number 5 hitter at all. Not a number 5 hitter at all, unfortunately. If he was a number 5 hitter, the Mets would be in really great shape. He just doesn't have enough power right now. Now, please like this video. And if you're watching on replay, send me a super thanks. So, let's see who else is coming up here. Kyle Schwarber. I guess he's the DH in this outfield. Yeah, big month of June, didn't he? Wow. 2 years in a row. He's always hurt, though. You got to keep an eye on him. That guy's always hurt. I really wanted the Mets to sign him. Juan Soto, reserve outfielder. He came short. He came awfully close to winning the vote. Another New York Mets. Starlin Marte made the team. Look at that. So 3 everyday players from the Mets made. So the Mets have a good, they have pieces in it that are really good. But the guys that are black holes in this lineup, they're not any good. Ian Happ made the team as an outfield reserve. So far the Mets have 3 pitchers on the team. 3 players on the team. That's pretty good. When was the last time the Mets had 3 starters on the everyday lineup on the team? Been a long time. I'd have to look that up. Maybe it was when back in 2006 when they had like 3 everyday players on the team with Beltran, Wright, and LaDuca. That's probably the last time they had 3 everyday players on the team. I would expect Diaz is probably the no. We'll see. We'll see if Diaz makes the team. We'll see in a minute. Very good. It's good to see these guys make the team. They've all had good years, So Pete's made the team. McNeil's made the team. Marte's made the team. Very good. We're going to go to a commercial. Go to a commercial. Who wants to go to a commercial? Here's a little stat. Mets first baseman's named to the All-Star team. Keith Hernandez, 84, 86, and 87. Pete Alonso, 2019, 2022. Mike Piazza. And Ed Krampel. From Des NJ. We're still talking about the Sandy Olson. That guy is in some other state fishing. Epler's running the show. That's right. I don't know why Roberto was talking about it. I haven't been talking about him. Nobody cared. He didn't care. He's doing his thing. He's running the business side, from what I understand. He's not really involved with the team that much. It's all about connecting everything together. Now, please like this video if you haven't already, and we'll be going a little bit longer. Again, I'll be back next week. We're going to have a long show next week, next Sunday, because we're going to have the draft. And Todd Licata. I don't think Walker has enough innings to make it. He's got plenty of innings. What are you talking about? He's got plenty of innings. He's got 85 innings. I think he's got a shot. Forgot about him. But Edwin Diaz is going to get in. So we'll see. I'm just waiting for the ESPN to pay their bills and come back. Then we'll talk about some of these players that are going to be available after the All-Star break and names that are going to be available via trade. I'm starting to wonder if Trey Mancini is going to be available, considering how well the Baltimore has played. But he doesn't qualify for. Don't. That's something else. They were talking about it during the game today. If they didn't think otherwise, no one says, "Oh, we don't qualify for the year." If that's the case, then you wouldn't have all these relievers in there. All right, Clayton Kershaw has made the team. 9th career All-Star selection. Seen him enough times. Who's up next? Sandy Alcantara. We'll see if he starts the game. He might start the game. I think that's kind of what they were talking about, is him or Kershaw starting because it's in Los Angeles. You got to start Alcantara. I'm sorry. And then bring in Kershaw after that. Corbin Burns. He's going back. We'll see who's next. It might be a Met next. I think they're doing alphabetical order. The Cincinnati Reds think their only selection. Luis Castillo. He's going to get moved. There's no doubt. But I've heard the Dodgers and the Yankees with him. We'll talk about him after all this is done. First time All-Stars, nationally starting pitchers, Max Fried, Tony Gonsolin, Joe Musgrove. Musgrove is going to have some market in the offseason. He's a free agent. He's going to have some market after all said and done after this offseason. And the Mets are going to be one of these guys that one of these teams that's going to want him. The Mets tried to trade for him in the offseason last year, and they didn't get him. From Nez NJ, I wish Boston would fall out so they trade JD Martinez. That's the DH bat we need. Well, that's not happening. Unfortunately, that is not happening. It's too bad because he was the perfect guy. Perfect guy for the Mets was that guy. It doesn't seem like Taijuan Walker made the team because they named all the starters. They didn't name the relievers yet. So it doesn't seem like he made the team. Again, please like this video if you haven't already, and going for a little bit longer. Yeah, so the Yankees are playing the Red Sox tonight. The Red Sox won yesterday. Red Sox are really struggling to beat these good teams. Oh yeah, no, Zach Wheeler. I guess Wheeler didn't make the team either, huh? He's pitched really well. I guess he got off to kind of a slow start. I guess that's kind of why he didn't make the team. I think they named the DH is William Contreras is the DH. William Contreras is the DH. We're just waiting on the relievers. We'll see who made the National League with the relievers. But it's something from the Mariners. Julio Rodriguez joins A-Rod and Ken Griffey Jr. is the only Mariners players to be selected as an All-Star in their age 21 season or younger. Wow, he's very talented. He's a very talented player. Extremely talented. Extremely talented. He's got some power in him, boy. And the Mariners have played a lot better. All right, here from the New York Mets, Edwin Diaz. Well, that's the no-brainer. That's a big no-brainer. Is Edwin getting on the team? So the Mets have 4 All-Stars. That's pretty good. When's the last time the Mets had 4 All-Stars? From the Brewers, Josh Hader. He's always like people always pretend to trade him. He never gets traded. Josh Hader. Other first-timers, Ryan Helsley of the Cardinals, David Bednar, and Joe Manipulai from the Arizona Diamondbacks. So they're only D-backs player. Interesting. Now, please like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Yeah, so there'll be another big show next Sunday to cover the draft. I'll probably come on around 6:30. The draft starts at 7 o'clock, but the Mets are on um, in Chicago at 2:20. So that game's probably going to go until about 6 o'clock. If they're still on, I'll come on anyway. Um, that's going to have an interesting road trip. Obviously, with them going up against the Braves. Um, Scherzer's pitching tomorrow, and then they go to Chicago. They do not play well in Chicago, so that is a concern of mine. James Brown, who's screaming, Braves won lead for game and a half. Okay, Mets are going to win 100 games. They're going to make postseason. Surprised if they didn't. They'd have to have a complete total collapse. I don't see that happening. Not with this manager running the show. So the Mets have 4 All-Stars. They got Edwin Diaz, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, and Starlin Marte. That's pretty good. Like I said, when was the last time the Mets had 4 All-Stars? It's been a long time. Been a really, really long time. That's great. And have 3 position players, too. It's funny. The guys that are really good on the Mets, um, they're stars. But the guys that are really bad, oh my God, they're so bad. James Brown, Lindor swung at balls 3-4. Well, first of all, Tanner Scott did not throw him one strike in that at bat. He should have taken the third pitch, and he didn't do that. And then he set up the whole at bat after that. Because then Scott knew that if he threw the ball anywhere near the plate, that Lindor was going to swing. So Lindor wanted to win the game instead of being smart and letting the big guy behind him dictate his at bat. He didn't do that. So when you do that, you get screwed. And plus, the Mets, they gave up that second run in the 10th inning. Once you give up that second run in the 10th inning, you get all messed up. You got to sort of assume that you're going to give one run in that spot. They shouldn't allow that second run to happen. Yeah, so Taiwan Walker got snubbed. And Scherzer didn't make the team because he missed a couple of weeks. But all right, Mets relievers named to the All-Star team. We'll start from the past. Tug McGraw in 72. And there wasn't anybody for a long time. Wait a minute. Didn't they skip Jesse Orosco? Jesse Orosco? Oh, wait a minute. What the hell's going on here? Oh, okay. John Franco in 90. Armando Benitez, the milk bath guy himself, in 2003. Frankie Rodriguez, Frankie, K-Rod, 2009. Jeurys Familia in 2016. Edwin Diaz in 2022. Jesse Orosco was in there in 83 and 84. And Billy and Jeff Pazan going off on who didn't make the team. Let me read you what he has. Carlos Rodon, Will Smith, Ty France, Tommy Edman, Dylan Cease, Zach Wheeler, Brandon Drury, Josh Bell. I'm surprised Josh Bell didn't make the team. Devin Williams, Aaron Nola, Kevin Gosman. Didn't he hurt? Austin Riley, Brandon Nimmo, Reynolds, Schreiber, King, and Money will be added this week. Let's have 4 All-Stars. You can't complain about that. They have 4 All-Stars on this team. This has been a good team. And it's been a very good year. And that win yesterday was great. Let me just check something. So, the Mets, again, they're 20 games over 500. So I'm not there's no panic here at all. They have the second best record in the National League. They have the 4th best record in baseball. Even if they don't finish in first, they're still going to postseason. I expect them to bring in a lot of offensive help in the before the trading deadline. Big Pump One. What's going on, Hut? Well, let's see what the Mets have tomorrow against the Braves. Mets need another bat in this order. Since all that's not happening anytime soon. All the teams. There's not going to be a lot of movement until after the All Star game. Um, so it's talking about another 10 days. If there are any kind of moves, any kind of trades of a major quality, maybe that Thursday before we come back. That Thursday, that Friday, that's when it's going to really pick up. You're talking about the 22nd. So then at that point, you have about 11 days, 12 days until the trading deadline, which is August 2nd that day, that this year. I'm going to be on a lot. Uh, I'm going to be on in the afternoon on that Sunday, which is the 31st. Um, the Mets play. The Mets play. Who the hell the Mets play on the 31st? The Mets on the 31st. Let me take a look at this. I always go crazy with the schedule. Now, please like this video and subscribe. Let's take a look. Go through the schedule a little bit because it's always important. Yeah, so tomorrow they play the Braves in a 3-game series. That's going to be tough. They played 7:20. Max Scherzer versus Max Fried. Then on Thursday they go to Chicago. I think our friend, our compadre, the former Met, Marcus Stroman is going to pitch in that series. I think he pitched either yesterday or today. So he's going to pitch against the Mets, probably Friday. So we'll get to see our good friend, Marcus. He just loves us, doesn't he? He loves the Met fans. Then the Mets obviously get the All-Star break. On next Sunday, let me just go through this a little bit. On Friday, the 2:20 start. I will be on in a live stream at some point, either at the end of the game, before the game. I don't know yet, but you'll see me live. There'll be videos coming up during the day. You'll have to, during the week. On Friday, Sunday I'll be on as the game is closing, and I will be there after covering the draft. Mets had 2 of the first 14 picks. The 11th pick for Kumar Rocket on signing him. As it turned out, he was hurt. What a shock. And then we'll cover the 14th pick, and we'll see. Usually takes an hour for the first 10 picks to get selected with the draft. So in all likelihood, I will be on from 6:30 to about 9 o'clock Eastern time. Because I don't think they'll have the second round on TV. It'll be on the internet. Obviously, I got to work the next day. There'll be all kinds of shows up during the week. But it's going to be a very quiet week. It's always quiet during the All-Star break for any kind of content. It'll start probably to pick up on Wednesday, Thursday. You'll start picking up rumors and stuff like that. And then on the 24th, we'll be back on again. I got to be a little careful because the Mets are playing a night game against the Padres. That'll be interesting. And then that week, it's a weird week for me. I want to be able to sort of collaborate with some YouTubers soon. Got to start writing to some people. But Mets play the Yankees for the first time at home at Citi Field. That'll be interesting. They play a 2-game series. The Big Pop One Hut. Mets should bring up Francisco Alvarez now that James McCann is down. Well, they're not doing that. They caught up. They brought up Patrick Mazeika today. So that's not happening. Not right now, anyway. After they play the Yankees in a 2-game series on the 26th and 27th, then they have a day game. They have an off day on the 28th. They have a lot of off days in the next couple weeks. Then they play that weekend in Miami. And that Friday and Saturday is like 6:40, 6:10. And then that Sunday, the 31st, they're on 1:40. I will be on after that game, just like I did today. And we'll go a little bit longer because with the trading deadline, there are going to be all kinds of rumors flying. There's going to be a lot of activity here. Lots of stuff going on. And then August 1st and August 2nd, the Mets are playing the Nationals. And August 3rd, they're playing the Nationals in a 3-game series at on in Washington. That Monday, I will be on before the game, covering the trade deadline. And I will be on after the game to cover the trade deadline. Then I will come back in the morning the next day and just go until whatever. I'm going to take a lunch break. But in all likelihood, I will be on up until the trade deadline. It's probably 4 o'clock, I would think. Does anybody know when the trading deadline is? What time? It was 4 o'clock last year. So I will be on that time. And we have a very interesting week. The Mets, get this. The Mets then come home for that week, and they play a 5-game series against the Braves. Thursday, Friday, they play a day-night doubleheader against them, against the Braves. One of the games are rescheduled from early in the season. That's from the first week got sort of pushed back, so they had to make up one of the games. That's on the 6th, and then on the 7th they play a 4:10 game at Citi Field. That's weird. On a Sunday? That's a weird time. I wonder if they're going to push that back for 7:10. That's a weird time. Surprised they saw that they did that. Then they go to Cincinnati, but they play Cincinnati here at Citi Field in a 3-game series, and they play the Phillies again. Oh, I haven't seen them in a while. Big Pomp 1, these 2 catches we have are trash. And McCann, why they don't bring him up now? He's not ready. Okay? If he has not caught, and he hasn't done much in AAA, he's been up there a week. He's 20 years old. Don't rush him. Don't rush him. Here's some crap. The Yankees have a Major League Baseball high 6 All-Stars with the Braves, and the Astros have 5 All-Stars. The Blue Jays, Cardinals, Dodgers, and Mets had 4. It's also the second consecutive year that Angels' Shohei Ohtani was selected as a pitcher in a DH. At least the Mets had 4 guys. All right. All right. Let me go through some of these players that are going to get moved or not get moved over the next couple of weeks. I mean, what's today? The 10th. So we're talking about 23 days until the trading deadline. Going to run through these players really quickly that are probably going to get moved or they're going to be discussed. And some of these guys are probably going to come back off the IL. Some of them are on the IL right now. So let's go through it. So Trey Mancini, I don't know whether he's going to get moved. I don't know if Trey Mancini's going to get moved now. I know that there was they were half and half on the idea. But the problem is that with the Orioles playing so well, they're going to need somebody. They need a veteran guy. They're going to be a very young team. You want a young team in this kind of environment in the second half? Are they going to add to their team? The Orioles are in a tough spot. I don't think they were ready to take that step forward. Josh Bell. Here's James Brown. At this pace, they will be lucky to win 93 games. Don't compare the first 2 months to June and July. Holy crap. Calm yourself. We don't like negativity here at the baseball hut. Josh Bell, he'd be pretty good for the Mets. He'd be good for a lot of teams. But the Mets are going to have to give up a lot for him. I don't know if I want to do that. The Mets, the Astros, the Mariners, and the Red Sox have been mentioned. Zach Davies. These just random names. Braves, Guardians, and the White Sox. White Sox, what the hell's going on with them? They look like they were going to take a big step. I've had injuries too. And the managers, these passes prime the manager. Brandon Drury. The Brewers, Rangers, and the White Sox. I put the Mets here, but I don't know. I don't think the Mets want him back. Ian Happ, the Braves, the Padres, and the Yankees. Jorge Lopez, who got selected to the All-Star team. Ian Happ, too. Dodgers, Padres, Red Sox, and the Mets. Got to be very careful with him. He's had a bad career. He hasn't had a good career up until this year. Tyler Mahle, who's on the IL. The Guardians, the Rangers, the Red Sox, and the Mets. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Guardians. I know I've said this a couple of times. Why does everybody say that about the Nationals trading with the Mets? The Nationals are not going anywhere, and they're probably not going anywhere next year. They will make a trade with a team that can help them out long term. They're not going to care. That's stupid. They're in dead last. It's so what if they face the Josh Bell? First of all, Josh Bell is not a guy that they developed. They brought him in this past year in a trade. They don't care about that. Frankie Montas. Now he's been hurt, but there have been a number of teams on him. The Blue Jays, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Yankees. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Brian Reynolds with the Pirates, the Padres, the Rays, and the Yankees. I mentioned Luis Castillo. Now, Luis Castillo, I was talking about him last week with the Mets. I know the Mets want to make deals for some of these big players, and they've told teams that we'll take on your bad contracts. We'll take on your bad contracts if we can get the player we want, but you're not going to be able to get our best prospects. Joey Votto has another year on his contract. And I was thinking that maybe the Mets could probably bring him in here to be the DH and play him a little bit at first. And then they can make this deal with Luis Castillo. But after seeing Joey, against the Mets, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the Mets can't. The Mets can't take that chance. He's done. Sorry, he's done. I don't think he has anything left. Big Pop. How about the Mets going after Wilson Contreras? Well, the thing about Contreras is, again, you're going to trade a guy like Vientos or Mauricio for a 2-month rental. When they have Alvarez here, they're in a tough spot. I don't know what they're going to do behind the plate, to be honest with you. Normally, I have an idea. The behind the plate might be the one place so they'll accept no offense. Like I said, they got 3 automatic outs in this lineup, and the 4th guy in this lineup doesn't get any extra base power. Doesn't have any extra base power, and that's with the Guillorme. Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo's going to get traded. I think the Yankees are so disgusted with him, he's going to get moved. I've heard the Padres. I've also heard the Royals, too. Tommy Pham, he's going to get moved, no doubt. Aaron Hicks, they talked about him getting moved here. Andrew Benintendi, I've heard the Mets, the Yankees, and the Blue Jays. Be interesting to see what's. Hold on, I need a drink. Look. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Blue Jays, because they've not had a good streak. They've been playing pretty lousy lately. Ramon Laureano of the A's. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. He's a veteran there. Tyler Naquan of the Reds. See where he goes. Anthony Santander. Again, he's an Oriole. He's got. When I was going to do the numbers, he was doing pretty good, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Robbie Grossman, he's probably gone. Ben Gamel, David Peralta from Big Palm. Hut, what do you think of Andrew Benintendi? He's a good player, but he has no power. He'd be perfect for the Mets, but he has no power. The Mets need guys that can hit for power. We'll just go over some bad teams, but now we're in a different situation with the Baltimore Orioles having won all these games. They're 1 game under 500 now. So they're not in this situation where they're bad. But I don't know how the organization looks at them right now. What? I'm not reading. Really, that's a little scary. That has nothing to do with what's going on in the field. What happens outside the lines has nothing to do with on the field. And if you think that's the only player that gets themselves involved with this kind of lewd stuff, don't fool yourself. From the Royals, throwing the names out there. Whit Merrifield, that had a good start. I don't know what happened to him. Zach Greinke, see where he goes. From the A's, I'm just going to run down do some really the bad teams. I'm going to have to add more teams: the Angels, maybe the Guardians on this list. Paul Blackburn, he made the All Star team. We'll see if he gets moved. AJ Puck, Sam Moll, Lou Trevino, who's pitched terribly out of the bullpen. Um, mentioned Josh Bell, Nelson Cruz. You know, the thing about Nelson Cruz is he's 42 years old and he has no power anymore. He's still hitting home runs, but he's got no slugging percentage. Patrick Corbin's 32 years old. He's got a bad contract. He's not getting moved. Tanner Rainey, if I were the Mets, I wouldn't touch him. From the Pirates, keep an eye on Jose Quintana. I think teams will be on him. David Bednar, he made the All-Star team. Keep an eye on him. Wilson Contreras, the Mets have been mentioned. He's going to get moved. I don't know what the Mets would give up for him. Yeah, I wouldn't give up what they're probably looking for. Maybe take on a bad contract. Maybe that's a situation you take on Jason Hayward. You know, maybe you take that contract on. I don't know. Let me take a look at Jason just to really get an idea of his status. But I'm not a big fan of his, but maybe the Mets take him on. He's got another year on an 8-year contract. He's 32 years old. He's hit 204. He's not playing every day. 277 slugging percentage. I was never a big fan of his, but let me just take a look at some of his numbers. He's good at inspirational speeches. That's the one thing he's good at. Let's take a look at his money. He's got $22 million coming to him next year. See, that might be a player that the Mets might go to the Cubs and said, "Look, we want to trade for Contreras." Okay, and he's on the 10-day deal, Jason Hayward, but we want Contreras, but we're not going to give you Vientos, and we're not going to give you Mauricio or Allen. We'll take on Jason Hayward and his money if you give us Contreras. Maybe the Mets do something like that. That's just a thought. But he's just a terrible player. You're not going to get anything out of him. Kyle Hendricks, he's on the IL. David Robinson, he's the big pitcher, the big reliever the Mets should get. That's the guy I want more than any other player. The Diamondbacks. Madison Bumgarner, big contract, not going anywhere. Kyle Nelson, good ERA. I don't think he's going anywhere. From the Rockies, C.J. Cron, maybe the Mets could DH him. Charlie Blackmon, they've mentioned him with the Mets. I'd stay the hell away from him. Daniel Bard, I don't know if he's going anywhere. And Alex Colome. James Brown, does anyone have confidence the Mets can take the 10 out of 15 they need to do to establish who's boss? Who's boss? Wasn't Tony Danza was the boss? What a weird comment. That's a weird comment. You just want to finish it first. One game ahead of the Braves is fine. Both teams are making postseason. They're probably going to face each other. The National League will be determined by 3 teams. Okay. The Mets, the Braves, and the Dodgers. One of those two teams are going to be fighting for the pennant. Okay. Now I would mention the Mets have never lost a divisional series. By the way, never lost a division series in their history. They've never lost a 5-game series ever. The Diamondbacks, the Giants, the Dodgers, the Reds, the Braves. They lost to the Braves in 99. That was a 7-game series. The Mets have never lost a 5-game series in their history, by the way. So, that's not a reason for the Mets to, get past the first round. I'm just saying, the three teams will determine who wins the pennant in the National League: the Mets, the Braves, and the Dodgers, and to a lesser extent, the Brewers. Brewers don't have much of a lineup. I think the Mets could beat them, and the Mets have not pitched Scherzer and DeGrom. I don't know when DeGrom's going to pitch. They said he's going to pitch for Syracuse either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure where. If he pitches on Wednesday, I will try to live stream his outing. Okay. I'm going to try to cover it. If it's Thursday, I can't because I got to work later. James Brown, we need to have JD at third now for a couple of weeks. Don needs to be gone. I do not want to see Mazuka. Who the hell's that? First of all, JD Davis can't play third. Okay. Defensively, they're fine with Escobar playing third. JD Davis can't play third. He's not a defensive player. He can go there in a pinch, but he's not an everyday player when it comes to playing defense. Sorry. So now we don't have a DH because you basically said we want Dom out of here, and we want to put JD Davis at there. Well, who's DHing? Yeah, you lost the DH. That doesn't make any sense. So you sit in Escobar for what reason? He's got to play third. Oh my God! Here we go. There is a difference between negativity and reality, my friend. Recognize that, young man. I've been watching the Mets since April 11th, 1962. Good, tell me how rough it's been. Oh my God, it's so difficult. Oh man, let me tell you. Usually I get them from 1965. James Brown. Isn't James Brown black? James Brown. James Brown, boy. Oh, man. Since 1962. That I should have realized. I tell you, I don't do any more comic book videos. But the comic book videos, how can I sort of describe it? That sort of everybody's sort of, they all had their own little conversations that they have going. And it's pretty much all of them. Everybody that write to me on those videos, I don't do them anymore. That's kind of how I was dealing with it. But with the baseball side, pretty much everybody's cool. Pretty much everybody's cool. Except the older fans. The guys that have been fans before Tom Seaver like was anywhere near Pro Bowl, long before Tom Seaver was ever like signed by the Mets, even long before he was signed by the Braves. These are the guys that carry all this negativity with them. Usually it's guys that have been fans since 1965. That's usually with the date. A guy that's from 62, he's a first. That's funny. That cracks me up. Usually I deal with the guys that come in after you, not before you. A guy like you should understand that teams that win World Series 7 years into their creation, it's not something that happens every day. The Mariners have been around for how many years? They've never won. The Padres have been around for 50 years. They've never won anything. They won two pennants. They've won nothing. 7 years into and here's the thing about and look how long the Angels were around. They were around for 40 years. They didn't win anything. For 40 years they were around. You know, and you're coming in here lecturing me. Don't lecture me. I am the last like Met YouTuber to lecture. Okay, because I look at everything realistically. JD Davis cannot play third base. Okay, JD Davis should not be on this Mets team. His wins above replacement is hurting the team, which means he is hurting them in a negative way, as well as Dom Smith. Eduardo Escobar has a contract. I believe that he's gonna click. Okay, there's nothing negative about his game other than the result. All right. But JD Davis and Dom Smith have been here for years. I've seen enough of them to know their track record, to know what they're gonna do. Dom Smith did nothing in this game today. JD Davis, other than a few games, has done absolutely nothing for the Mets. And the thing is that when it comes to looking at this team, I don't bring 1962 into it. That has nothing to do with today. Okay. Just like last year has nothing to do with what I see now, other than some of the players that I do not like are still on this team. Okay. Don Smith can't hit. Okay. He's not a major league player right now. JD Davis only hits bad pitching. And he has a slow bat. They say it on the Met game. If you follow the Mets on SNY, they talk about it without saying it. They say that he's not a great fastball hitter. He can't hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He can hit a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. You know, he hits bad pitching. Don Smith can't hit any pitching, in my view. Don Smith has over 1,200 at-bats in his career so far. 1,500 at-bats, you usually have a pretty good idea of what kind of player you have. And what I see from Dom and from JD Davis is two guys that are hurting this team. They should not be playing at all. That is irrelevant to 1962. It's irrelevant to 1985. It's irrelevant to 1986. Whatever year you want to use. So it cracks me up when subs come in here and tell me this stuff. It's irrelevant. Okay. And I've seen a lot of games. I've probably seen just as many games as you have in the last 30 years. I can assure you on that one. And not just Met games. Yankee games. Any game that's on TV, I watch it. So, you ask me, you want my opinion on a player? I'll give you my opinion on a player. Just throw a player's name out there, and I'll let you know what I think about him. You know. But throwing, again, 1962 has nothing to do with J.D. Davis. 1962 has nothing to do with Dom Smith. Nothing. Anyway, my little rant for today. But that's really what the difference is between the comic book side and the baseball side. You know, is that usually pretty much everybody's cool in here. Is when these old timers come in here, you know, when they bring their negativity. There is one guy that was in here that was a younger guy who doesn't write much. Dragged the whole channel down a couple weeks ago because he was mad. And then I posted a picture of Heath's number 17 being retired. And I said, this is a great thing. And he goes, it doesn't matter. The Mets are losing. I was like, all right, you're gone. So the negativity only goes so far with me. So just be forewarned. I will send you off to the Phantom Zone. Skadoosh. The chat's gotten awfully quiet, hasn't it? Well, on that light note, we're going to end the live stream. I will be back again probably Friday. Not sure when. I don't know if it's going to be before the game or after the game. I haven't decided yet. Maybe come on after the game. Um, and again, I'll be back on Sunday. That I can tell you is definite because we're going to have the draft, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We did that last year, and that was fun. And it's just going to be a great couple weeks here on the channel, and for all of us. The Mets need offense. Obviously, they need these two bats on this team. They need a DH and they need another bat off this bench. Somebody can play third a little bit and play, and come in late in the game. Last time I would come in here, everything is not rainbows and all right. Yeah. Well, it was nice having you. Bye bye. Oh my goodness. Skadoosh. What a negative Nilly and Sector G. Look, everything's very realistic. I mean, I'm going to tell you, Don can't play. He's terrible. JD Davis can't hit. He's terrible. Okay? There's no sugarcoat. Who's sugarcoating anything? Rainbow. We don't want to talk about rainbows anymore. Or unicorns. Sorry you have such an attitude. I got an attitude. But I mean, I'm very realistic about it. 1962 has nothing to do with today. I'm sorry. You don't like it? I'm sorry. You just have to deal with it. Last time I come in here, okay. Have a nice day. Again, it's irrelevant. Even last year's irrelevant to today. Okay. We have a new manager. It's a good manager. We have a new general manager. They've done a good job. Okay. They brought in some very talented players. They brought in Max Scherzer. They brought in Marte. They brought in some very good players in here. But they need to do a little bit more. This team's going to win 100 games, but they need more offense. Okay? They're getting enough pitching. They have to get some more bats in here that can score them runs, make it easier. I think I mentioned they were 14 and 12, 13 and 12 in June. 10 of those 12 losses, they scored 2 or less runs. You can't win like that. So this team needs offensive help. They can't look at it from within. They've done that for the last 2 years. The guys that have a problem here offensively are the guys that have been here. Get rid of these guys. Get rid of Dom. Get rid of JD Davis. Replace them with somebody that can get the job done. We've seen them. These guys have been here for the last 4 seasons. Get them out of here. Okay? It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to 1962. It is. But we'll see. Like I said, the Mets have good management. They have a good front office. They have a great owner. They're going to get the job done in terms of bringing in the talent that they need. They did that on the offseason. And I trust them. I trust that they'll get the job done. They've gotten the job done so far. They're on pace to win 100 games. They're on pace to win 100 games. Think about that for a second. And some old farts coming in here telling me about 1962. This has nothing to do with 1962. This has nothing to do with 86. This has nothing to do with, whatever year you want to bring up. I'll tell you if I think the Mets are bad, I'll tell you. Okay? There's no sugarcoating anything here. Nothing. I don't sugarcoat anything here. But I'm not going to tell you the sky is falling when it's not. Last year, I was concerned about the offense because it looked terrible. This offense is very different this year. They put the ball in play more, although last month they've been struggling to put the ball in play. But for the most part, they put the ball in play. They've been very good. But anyway, let me get the hell out of here. This guy really irritated me. All right. Go back to the. I don't want to say it. Anyway, Big Pop asked this. Think the Nationals will trade Robles? I don't know. We'll see. Well, thank you for coming by. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. And we have great interactions here. We really do. I might be the one YouTuber that will talk to you in the live streams. And you don't have to send me a super chat. I'll talk to you. It may not be a conversation that you want to go your way, but I will talk to you. Well, thank you for watching. Yeah, I mean, yeah, wait till. I know. Todd Licata on pace. And another guy was in here saying that complaining about the 93, on pace for 93 wins. Wait till next year. Hey, if they don't make the postseason, they won 100 games, what are you going to do? The Giants won 107 and they lost a 5-game series against the Dodgers last year. That stuff happens. In 1985, the Mets won 98 games. They went home. In 2006, they won 97 games. They lost to the Cardinals again. It happens. This shit happens. So, I want to thank you all for coming by. We'll be back again during the week. Keep an eye out for some videos. I'll have something tomorrow. It's always a daily video, though it's been pretty quiet here the last couple of days. But it'll get some fireworks here going on. Woohoo! And at some point, you'll probably beg me not to be on camera. I'll be on camera soon. I just got to hook my air conditioner up. So, thank you for coming by. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thank you. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.